LeBlair, one of their best players, is coming back for the first time this season from a concussion. She's not going to start, but she'll be back. And then for Rice, on the other hand, they're dealing with injuries of their own. They'll have 10 players, so a little bit more on their bench. But with these rivalries, you can't get out of yourself and get into foul trouble.
Players to watch. We'll start with the visitors, and we mentioned Layla Blair, who is going to see limited minutes coming off that concussion.
Yeah, she looked good in shoot around. She is going to be limited coming off the bench, but she's a difference maker. They run their offense through her. Gigi Cook and Aaliyah Lev have stepped up in her absence, but when she's back, you get points back. Rice already getting a little bit emotional. Earlier this week, we were talking to them about what this game will mean to them being senior night, but interestingly enough, they're actually going to be starting all 5 seniors tonight against UTSA. That's the first time all 5 have started in a game this year for the Rice Owls.
The goal is to survive and advance.
Absolutely, and to make a little bit of history. FAMU is looking to do that as they have never won the regular season title or a tournament title. Check this out from Jimmy Oladokun. Too strong. Gets up and says, get that out of here. You want to talk about Rice wanting to be a strong defensive team in your face that Coach Lanier has been looking for. Man, I don't know what was said in pregame, but it's been a really good defensive performance so far from Rice early on in this one.
Texas Southern needs to get back to crashing the O boards. We saw that for a period of time, and they have 10 right now. Now that makes 11, and get to the free throw line. I think they continue to put the pressure on with the offensive rebounds, making sure they're chasing those shots. They'll go back to finding some success.
Good defense there from Rice. We got to see it a little bit early now that Utah Tech is going to play 5 out when they're on the offensive end, which means Rice is either going to have to go small or ask their big to defend out to the 3-point line. And we saw there that Susie and Golufak had no issue. We were talking about Haley Adams a little earlier. So she was 4 of 16 from the field against North Texas. Coach Edmond said, look, she took good shots. They just didn't fall. So expect to see her catch and shoot as she does here off the glass. No problem.
You know the winning Powerball numbers tonight?
I do not.
You can't go away from your inside presence defensively just to defend out to the 3-point line. So they're just going to have to ramp up defense altogether, which I'm sure is a conversation that is happening right now in the locker room. It speaks to what you need in March. You need depth. They had 25 points off the bench for Alcorn, even though they had a couple of injuries. Now the question is, how healthy are they heading into the championship, especially their top player? If Destiny Brown can't go, who can be the player that steps up?
Yeah, North Texas came out and punched first and kept punching, and Rice just did not have an answer. Everything that North Texas did well, Rice did not. North Texas was able to score in transition and then get back quickly on defense and really suffocate Rice with that man-to-man defense.
She's happy to be back on the Sam Houston State side. She's been able to get that confidence back up, and it's proving on the floor with her numbers.
Yeah, they say it's hard to beat a team twice. How about try to beat a team 4 straight times? That'll be the task for Rice against an East Carolina team who has had this one circled on the schedule. Boy, is she strong in the paint, but Coach Edmonds is wanting to see more offensive production from her. She wants to see her score at least 10 points per game. Now, against UTSA, she was able to get in double figures with 16 points, but her last time before that in double figures was over a month ago. So can they get Susie the ball more underneath?
Giving it down low to Cox. Ball stripped. Here's Klazak.
Man, Rice just defends as a team so well. You see as she was getting closer and closer to the net that she's just swarmed by the Rice Owls. Yeah, that's something you don't see. Haley Adams bringing it up, but why not? She gets a good look.
Hayes the follow through. 2 more for Shelby Hayes.
Maybe that was just enough to confuse Memphis defensively with Haley Adams bringing it up. What can't she do?
What do you see from it?
Yeah, you can't have a slow entry pass. The benefit for Rice is they've already seen this zone defense, so they kind of know what to expect from Florida Atlantic, and really it's all about anticipation, which is something the Florida Atlantic Owls were able to do well against Rice last time around. They knew they were going to have that mismatch down low with Malia Fisher and Susie and Golufak in that high-low. Now Rice has been able to say, okay, we're not going to wait for you. We're going to push it down low, be quick about it, and be smart about where we're putting the ball.
What a hard-fought win for this Mississippi Valley team who had a coaching change in December. Everybody counted them out. They were picked to finish last in the preseason poll, and they said, no, we deserve to be here. We've got the right people in the room, and now they're moving on to take on a very good Southern team.
She can do it all, and she's leading the conference in scoring, but surprisingly enough, Last time out, it was only the second time this season that she was not in double figures. She only had 8 points against Memphis, and they were still able to get the win. So it says a lot about the group that Coach Karen Aston has built around her.
Rice up 4, a 6-0 run over the last minute 40. Malia Fisher lost it off her left foot, go the other way.
Malia Fisher still trying to figure things out, like we mentioned, at that new spot. She's at the 3 because Haley Adams is at the 4 for Rice. When Malia Fisher was out, Coach was telling us, I don't know how to integrate her back in because Haley Adams is playing so well, I cannot take her off the floor. So you see kind of this new look lineup where Malia Fisher, who has played at the 4 her whole career at Rice, is now being asked to play at the 3, but she's enjoying it so far.
And there has been a little bit of chippiness at times tonight.
Yeah, we know Victoria Flores is a player who plays with a lot of emotion, and she did not appreciate Kyla Tech running into her.
Mid-range, left it short. And Gulafak with the board.
There you see Florida Atlantic is fine with giving up those offensive boards because they haven't been able to get back and beat Rice in transition. There we saw all 5 of Florida Atlantic Owls just trudge back when they knew the shot was off.
Carter sinks the 3.
That's exactly what Coach Edmonds was expecting from this UAB team, is that they are going to shoot the 3 ball early and often, but their goal is to hold them to 5 3-pointers made, so that's now 1 against that 5. Can they hold them to 4 the rest of the 40 minutes?
Alicia Carter averaging 37.3 from downtown. Fisher tried to drive, Ennis tried to drive, set back up by Flores. Takes the long 2 and drained it. Victoria Flores, a good start offensively for the Owls.
Good start for Victoria Flores, too, whose confidence was a little bit shaken a couple of games ago. Coach Edmonds has been challenging her to shoot more often, and there you saw she was set up perfectly by Dominique Ennis.
Molly Moffitt tried the 3 and came up empty. Here comes Anaya Alexis, a pirouette move, too much off the glass. Ngulafak the rebound and throws it down.
Really great second chance look there from Susie Ngulafak, who used her power and size there on the block to get that board and go back up.
And Randy Norton said we need to take care of Ngulafak tonight. Moffitt taking it to the right block. All Susie all the time.
And she loves it. You see her teams cheering her on after that. They've been wanting to see more of that powerful presence down low on the defensive end from Susie Ngulafak, and she delivered. His head coach, Josh Howard, refers to him as the water bug because he's fast and crafty. He's going to be their one-man fast break and is going to be tasked with breaking Rice's 3-quarter court trap, which they have seen this year. Rob Lanier has asked him to be more aggressive and be a killer as a 3-point shooter, and boy, did they get that in their last win against Alcorn State with his game career high of 6 3-pointers made. The last time he did that was actually against now head coach Rob Lanier when he was at SMU. He had 6 3-pointers against Coach Lanier in that game last year that they lost, but Lanier was excited to get Husainovich and be able to utilize his ability.
And a long tip picked up on the baseline. First possession here for the Trailblazers, a turnover.
Yeah, a little bit sloppy there for UNT Dallas. They're going to have to get settled in, of course, an NAIA opponent going up against a really tough American team. And what Rob Lanier has been able to do in these first 11 games at Rice has really been impressive.
Amos, Brodnack, Sakuche, Husainovich, Powell, the starting 5 for first-year head coach Rob Lanier. Husainovich inside for Powell, and he travels. Turnover for each team on its first possession.
Wow, surprising to see that early on for Rice. We knew they were shaking off the rust a little bit against Alcorn State. It took them a while to get into rhythm after that long layoff. Didn't expect to see that this early.
Howard, Johnson, Blair, Crawford, and So in the starting 5 for North Texas Dallas under head coach Josh Howard in his 5th season. Here's Johnson Blair, kick out to the corner. Crawford under the hoop, triple teamed. He tried to throw it off of Kuche. It did not work. Another turnover for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, what Coach Howard wants to see on the offensive side for his group is to work the ball one side to the other without breaking the play. There we saw that Rice was able to break up that play. He wants to see a pro style, even though this is the NAIA level. As we know, with his background, a former NBA All-Star and himself, drafted first round by the Dallas Mavericks. He wants to see that from his group.
Brooke, it's the first ever meeting between these programs.
Yeah, gotta love the fight we've seen from UNT Dallas. Not afraid of the moment. They have come right at Rice. Rice starting to pull away, though, at the end of this first half, and a big part of that is that guy right there, Emery Lanier, the son of head coach Rob Lanier. He has 3 assists so far in this first half, and he is doing just about everything when it comes to facilitating the offense.
Andrew Akuche's role is growing game by game. He's now a starter, and he's backing up that assignment today. 10 points, including 4 of 6 from the free throw line.
Yeah, he's getting a great opportunity with Trey Patterson out with a knee injury. He will be out for the rest of the season, and Andrew Akuche has been here at Rice, and he's taking full advantage of the opportunity. He's coming along, as Coach Lanier has told us this week. You look at the field goal percentage. I mean, this is how close it's been in this one between Rice and UNT Dallas, but Rice is cleaning up the glass, which was an emphasis for them this week. It's something that Coach Lanier hangs his hat on with any team that he's coaching, whether it's at SMU or at Rice, and he's brought that mentality over, that physical defensive mentality here at Rice.
Johnson, Ashton Howard has tied it up. Great play design from the Trailblazers.
And it just took Trey Broadnax taking one semi-second look to the left, and he missed him on the way in. You can't have a lapse in judgment there, because as we saw, UNT Dallas made him pay. Now both teams have a timeout. If you're UNT Dallas, probably call a quick timeout right after this one. Set up your best play, get it to Crawford likely, or Johnson Blair. You've got 2 really good options to try to either win this one or tie it.
Broadnax makes the second. 12.3 left on the clock. Into the hands of Jaden Johnson Blair. Timeout call with 9.8 seconds remaining.
I love how Josh Howard, the head coach for UNT Dallas, didn't even have his head up yet when they were inbounding it, how much trust he had in Johnson Blair, that look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to call a timeout, inbounding, and then he gets ready to go. He was already drawing on his board. Does that say NBA experience or what? That he's like, the wheels are already turning of what I'm expecting my team to do and what I'm going to call here in this situation. Rob Lanier trying to ice out Vernon Johnson right now at the free throw line with 1 shot left. If he makes it, they're up by 1 and have to hold on for 7 seconds. If not, this one could potentially go into OT.
A monumental win for North Texas Dallas. They win 69-68.
Yeah, they are celebrating in fashion. I mean, this is a huge win for UNT Dallas. If you're Rice, you got to go back to the drawing board. You got to be upset after this one. Let it sting for a couple days. Realize what you did wrong. Come back. Be better defensively. Be better on the offensive and defensive boards, especially in the second half. You can't squander a 15-point lead, but for UNT Dallas and what Josh Howard wants to do there in that NAI program, man, what a great win for them, one they can draw on.